So now, we go to the next stage. If you take the A and the B route, which is, these are the people we need, and these are the numbers we need to do this kind of thing, we then have to start something else. Now, I find I can create a memo because I've got paper at home. I can do it in 5 minutes. But there are certain things I would suggest to Claire to do, and indeed to you. When you've written your first memo, you take a photocopy and you put your first memo in a file. Now, I'll have to just get you to hold this up. Now, that's a memo to the job centre. And it's come now from personnel. Because it's not management now, it's personnel. We want these people. And you are job centre personnel. And the memo simply says, and it's a totally different style, because you don't write to a job centre like pull your finger out and we want it yesterday. So it's fairly formal. Challoner Hall, that locates who we are, will shortly be interviewing, that locates what we want. Applicants, we're looking for people for the following positions. And the management requests that job cards are placed in your centre's window to inform possible applicants. Now I've invoked a higher authority. For on behalf of the management of Challoner Hall, many thanks. I am not the owner of Challoner Hall. Now, kids are ever so clever at understanding all this. All that's keying. That's keying in writing. So my job as a teacher is to run a job centre, the mode of my teaching. So somehow it might be Monday morning, you know, do you have a good weekend? So on. I'm bringing the human element first, the now time. We've got quite a big job on this week. I don't really need to do copies of this. I don't need to waste time on copies. Because a job centre person wouldn't do that. She's got a little staff. Well, we might have 35, but it's a big job centre. But she only needs, you know, in my case it's she, read it and then say, I thought we'd better just all meet together to try and sort this out because it looks a bit of a big job. Now, they've supplied us with a list of the positions, remember? It was in the bank. That's all we need, a list of the positions and how many cooks, how many, you know, chambermaids, how many hairdressers, whatever it might be. And it might be a bit peculiar. You might get 15 hairdressers if you've got a class of girls, all of whom would love to be them.
Yeah.
Well, it just happens that, you know, in our hotel, we've got a bit overstaffed on the hairdressing side. On the other hand, they do shifts. Oh, we've had some terrible crises with hairdressing, and, oh, we have a training school. There's always an accommodation. We don't have to say, don't be stupid, Mary. You can't have 15 hairdressers. Well, you can. I find it perfectly reasonable. Don't you? Do you really? Good. I bet you do and all. So, if I do that, we now have the lists that have come from another class. We have the numbers from another class, and we've a new memo. But I do have to have prepared this. Now, this is a writing exercise, but you have to read it. Yes, thank you.
Oh.
You have to read it. Yes, hold it up. You have to read it before you can fill it in. So, you see, we have to make out the job card. Now, this is a really complex task. So, if you're using a first year for this, just realise how much you're asking. It's okay that the address is there and the telephone's there. What skills do you require if you're a hairdresser? What skills do you require if you're a cook? It's a very complex exercise. If you're not careful and if you're a sloppy teacher, you say, well, just fill in what you think. Breaking down the skills of a job is what modern computer guys spend their lives doing. If you've got to train a car mechanic you may have 8,000 things to break down and label. Is it a skill, you see, to be able to manipulate very small things? To be able to manipulate them under an engine with your arm at full stretch looking through a mirror is a totally different skill. Now, I put this in because it seems to me it's crazy to just advertise with a name, wanted cook. And it's in this speaking and listening that this falls. Now, I may have to demonstrate a bit of cooking. How many skills do I need to smash an egg without it going on the floor? You see, I mean, it's a rhetorical question, but it wouldn't be a rhetorical question in the classroom. So you see, we can divide a big class into breaking down the skills of the simplest seeming things. How many skills does it take to fit a key in a lock and open it? It's an amazing range, and we take for granted these things. And that, to me, is how the process of talking, wait a minute, you've missed something out there, finding the words to label that skill, words like discrimination, selection, you know, I mean, a hairdresser is an amazing range, a cook is. But think of a chambermaid who all they really might do, you might think, well, how many skills does it take to load a tray for 2 people up in the attic, well, on the, let's say the 3rd floor of a hotel, get it there on time, know who you're bringing it in for, know which number it's for, and remember they don't take sugar, but they do like green top milk. You see? Now, it sounds stupid, but it ain't so stupid as sitting there writing a list of skills that have nothing to do with anything urgent. We can lay a tray and discuss the skills and break it down. And if we can sufficiently alert children to go out and just realise how clever everybody is. How many skills does a miner have? I mean, from noticing a difference in the atmosphere, which would be a crisis point, how many skills did a miner have when they worked with the ponies down the pit? How many skills do they have of just adjusting to going down the shaft, of not knocking each other over, carrying their water bottles, making sure their bait's there, not taking anything in their pockets they're not allowed? All these are high skills. Now that to me is PSE work. Because it's valuing people. And it might well be that one could set homework that's based on do the washing up tonight or dry the pots for your mum and notice the skills you have. Not only about not dropping them on the floor, but where to put them and how you know your way round the place, you see.
How you judge temperature.
And how you judge the temperature of the water and if there's just enough soap or if you're wasteful. Because we've all done this. If you change your soap powder, you get too much lather, don't you, or whatever you use. So this would not be getting these forms filled in as fast as possible. It would be first recording the skills. You may have 6 lessons in that before. And I'm not saying bore the kids. I'm saying the next group can carry on. We've only managed to break this down so far. Now there's an additional problem built into this one. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Applicants aged 16 plus, 21 plus, or any age to, and I've left a blank. If you're a cleaner, what would be your top age for a cleaner in Challoner Hall? What's a fair top age to ask somebody to use those skills? You see, one of the skills of a cleaner is making sure you've got all you need before you go up in the lift. Assembling your tools is one of the big things. And the number of people who go wandering about, you know, and going back for things, you only see them in garages. No offence to garage men. Now then, you see, if we take this as the A route, first of all, they have to consider the memo. They have to look at the list. They have to decode the task, which is only a list at first. They then have to use the list of jobs available and isolate the skills required. What I have to do is imagine, is this a talking exercise? Do I want it to be learning to jot things down quickly? If I want them to learn that, actually, you can think with a pen in your hand. You know, I might say, you better just jot these down while we think through them. And what you get is jotter pads with people jotting things down, because the thing you're teaching is not, I'm going to mark that when you're finished. You're saying, you can scribble this. That's important. You know, you can scribble this. But having a pen in your hand to help yourself think is a very useful modern tool. I can't give them all word processors, you know. We then have to isolate the skills. We then have to label them. Now, it's when we've labelled them we can complete the job card. Now, when we've completed the job card, we've got this business of how old? I mean, do we want hairdressers very long in the tooth that are bald? I mean, is that allowable? It seems reasonable. You could have bald hairdressers, I suppose. You couldn't have people with trembling hands. It's that sort of discussion. Because what you want people to carry out is the eyes that see the passers-by. In this case, I've said for shrouds. I haven't put an undertaker in the hotel. I didn't really think it was a good advert, you see. But it's this obsession. I remember teaching a child about birds who were designing an aircraft. And you see, he began to see all the real birds. And he said, I never saw so many bloody birds in all my life. I didn't know we had so many. And these were seagulls, parrots, starlings, and he'd never seen them before. The problem was to keep his eyes on the floor. He spent his time with his head up and nearly got run over, you know. Now that's what I would like. Productive obsession. To walk down a high street of shops and value the skills people are using. Have you ever watched somebody open a box of shoes and get one out and they don't scratch them and they're the right size and they present them to you? It's an amazing sleight of hand. I've gone on about that a bit because teachers try to finish things. And I'm talking about the process, the business of adding dimension to the learning. Now, when you talk about children's work in a staff room, you're going to talk about this quite differently. You're not going to say, well, they didn't manage to write much, are you? No. You're going to try and help people realise that in the writing, this is what they did in their English syllabus. And it doesn't show here. And this is PSE. This is life skills.